You're taking a live look out of Miami on the left of your screen, where the first Democratic debate will be held in just 5 days here on MSNBC. But today, a bunch of 2020 Democrats are there for a different reason. 8 of them are at a forum right now talking with Latino voters. Voters Democrats know they need if they have any shot of taking Florida back next year. We're heading there live with MSNBC's Mariana Atencio in Miami. Mariana, what are you hearing so far?
Hallie, I've been speaking to a lot of Latino voters in the past couple of months here in the Sunshine State. This is now the largest voting bloc, or the fastest growing, here in the state of Florida. 2.2 million Latinos in the Sunshine State. And repeatedly I hear that they say the Democrats are kind of taking them for granted, that it's happened in other election cycles and that it's happening now, that there's this assumption that Latinos in Florida are going to vote blue no matter what, and that simply is not the case. Remember, we're also talking about a group that is not monolithic, especially not here in Florida. We sat down with 2 Cubans, 2 Puerto Ricans, and a Venezuelan this week. This is what they told us about who they are looking at and why.
I'm very impressed with Bernie Sanders and with Elizabeth Warren. I think they're the only 2 that are really talking about the systemic changes that this country needs.
I kind of find Joe Biden to be an interesting candidate. I do have a lot of concerns for Bernie Sanders. The socialism aspect of everything kind of concerns me. The way I see the United States is, you can't put gasoline in a diesel engine. We're just not designed for socialism.
I'm looking right now at Vice President Joe Biden, but I am open to see there are a lot of candidates. I mean, this is going to be a long year, and I'll be watching out for what they say specifically on Venezuela and Cuba and the economy. Right now, I'm leaning towards Joe Biden, but it's going to be a long year and a lot could happen.
So just to get this straight, for the 2 of you, if Bernie Sanders were the candidate, you would not vote for the Democratic candidate?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Whereas for you, that's your pick.
Yeah.
As a young Latino.
Well, I'm between Bernie Sanders and I like Elizabeth Warren. I'm listening to what she's saying.
Would you cross party lines if you didn't hear what you wanted on Venezuela, Cuba, and foreign policy from the Democrats?
I could say yes, but it would be a very difficult moment for me. I'm not going to lie. It would be very difficult for me to go and cast my vote for President Trump.
If it was Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump, it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know, and we know the other one's a socialist, so I'd be forced to have to vote for Trump, even though I wouldn't want to do that.
Hallie, getting over that word socialism is probably one of the biggest hurdles for Democrats in Florida. And the issue that is sort of bringing that to the forefront, the hot button issue, is the crisis in Venezuela that you have covered extensively on your show. A lot of them telling me Democrats need to get it right on Venezuela, because not only will that affect this relative new constituency, which is the Venezuelan voters, but that's going to bleed into the way other people vote who are originally from Cuba, Colombia, Nicaragua.
Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.